ever wanted to be. And I got the opportunity to do it. And after 2 years of doing it, I hated it. I was a farmer's market manager for our downtown South Austin farmer's market, and I sold farm. We had a farm, so I did homesteading and sold chickens and goats and corridors. My ex-husband, underline, was a general contractor, and he did remodels and built houses, and didn't go to the CEs and lost his license, and he built a barn for a guy that had been in the septic industry in North Carolina for 40 years. And so while he's building that barn, it was during COVID, and I was working from home, and I had our third little boy. I had at the time I had a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a newborn. And the guy just said, "Hey, you can't really keep much help," talking about Joe, because he couldn't hire anybody that could breathe and hold a hammer at the same time. He said, "Why don't y'all just buy a pumper truck?" He said, "It's less labor, it's something y'all could do, and it'll keep you steady busy," because Joe's main problem was doing a job and getting paid and then not doing another job for 2 months. So I got thinking about it, and I was like, a pumper truck? Whatever. But then I did some research, and I saw some opportunity, and I saw it in our area. And I asked him one day when I was drinking my coffee, if I decide to do this class in North Carolina and get a pumper permit and buy a pumper truck, would you help me run it until I can find a driver? Because I knew with 3 little boys I wasn't going to be able to do it, and I was still a teacher at school, and I was still downtown South Austin farm manager, and I still had to feed 300 chickens and 40 goats a day. And he said, "Yeah, but you're just a teacher, you'll never be able to afford a pumper truck." And I said, "Hold my beer, baby." And so that was in January. I took the class and did the permit class, and then I resigned from my position at school, I think in March, and I said, "All right, it's make it or break it. I got to do something besides, we couldn't make it off of just my farmer's market and farm salary, and I couldn't go back to work because they hadn't had a babysitter for the baby." And I jumped head first in. I found my truck from a man named John Gordon in Colorado, and I talked to that man on the phone, and after talking to him and telling him what I really wanted to do, he told me, he said, "I sell these trucks all the time." He lived right next to the International dealership. He had been in the business for a really long time. And he said, "After talking to you for an hour," he said, "that truck's not going to move until you can finance it." He said, "That truck was made for you, and I believe in you." He was one of the first people that believed in me. He said, "I believe in you." And he said, "It's going to sit right here until you can get it." And he gave me a list of financial institutions, and I talked to him, and the interest was too high. And I talked to a family back there, and they took up, she wasn't supposed to, but she took a little stretch. That's what happens in a small town. And she financed me. And on July 4th weekend, a Dodge Dually pulling a flatbed trailer pulled my pumper truck, Denver, Colorado, to my house. And we had shared driveway, and Joe said, "What in the world is coming up the driveway? What has Sandy Oby bought?" Because he was always fussing. And I said, "Sandy Oby didn't buy that, baby. That's my pumper truck, and Ronnie Bowens will letter it next week. So you got 2 weeks to finish that job because we're going to be on the road." And he couldn't believe it. I didn't tell him nothing. I had an LLC in my name. I had the truck in my name, and I knew that I had to do 10 pumps a month to pay for that truck and pay those bills at that house. So I set out, and I called every plumber that I knew in around in a 50-mile radius and told them what we were doing, and pushed and pushed. And we went the first month, I think we did 5 jobs, but after I got licensed in Virginia, we started in August. In January, I got licensed in Virginia and started advertising in Virginia, and it was very quickly that we started doing 20 to 30 jobs a week. I was working him like a mule, y'all, but he was getting paid good. Anyway, so fast forward, I just kept learning and growing because I found out that, hey, I love this industry. I love going to people's houses, and I love educating them about their systems and meeting all these people and doing the continuing ed, and it was amazing. And I just felt like that I found exactly where I belonged, and my daddy was right. I've been talking shit since I was 3 years old, and I finally got paid for it. It's always been great, and so I just kept getting more licenses. I got my inspector's license and expanded, and it just blew up, and I started sharing online, and Now I have a phone, and people think I'm cool when I'm the Septic Queen, and all I do is I throw a little glitter on the industry where a big grizzly bear used to run. And the highlight of my day is to get out of that truck and those people find out that I'm not just a secretary. So that's kind of how I got here, and I love the WWETT Show and being able to connect with folks like up here at the state when all around you just look around with everybody when you're just continuing to learn and grow. It's just so much to learn, so many places for everybody in the industry, and you'll find your path. I tell everybody that graduates high school, I said, from the day I graduated, I just knew what I wanted to do, and I wanted to be that ag teacher, and within 2 years, I didn't want to anymore. So, there's a plan for everybody, and it's okay if you don't know what you want to be when you're 18. It took me until I was 28 years old to find my true passion. And from there, it just grew. Like I'm up here speaking up the wastewater treatment.
What's one thing you wish you knew when you started in the industry?
What I wish I knew. Well, I knew it yet, and I think first getting started. There's a lot. I wish I knew to kind of go up there and not be afraid to ask questions and be confident. Me being a woman in there, I was a little, I was a little, I didn't know much about it, and I did all the research, but I did have a lot of good advisors and got advice from them. But I wish that I really could have gone up there and knew to be confident and hey, you're a girl, but you're fine. You're doing great. After I kind of got more knowledge and went to some classes, I did, but I feel like I could have went in a little more confident than I did, that first year.
Thank you. Is there a